The $35,000 Model 3 is finally here, and it's a little bit of a bittersweet moment. First, I want to just kick off the video and say congratulations to Tesla. The whole entire team, I think, has worked extremely hard up until this point to get to this $35,000 car. It is the car that so many people have been anticipating with excitement, looking forward to an affordable electric vehicle, and this is it. This here is it. There have been other $35,000 electric vehicles, but not like this. In order to understand why this is such a monumental day, let's rewind to the March 31st, 2016 Model 3 reveal to get some context.
Why does Tesla exist? Why are we making electric cars? Why does it matter? It's because it's very important to accelerate the transition to sustainable transport. It really is. This is really important for the future of the world. We have record high CO2 levels. We recently passed over 403 parts per million of CO2 in the atmosphere. You can see the chart, and it looks like a vertical line, and it's still climbing. And the last time there was this level of carbon concentration was 11 million years ago. Okay, that was approximately when primates started walking upright. The world was very different. We do not want to return to that situation. And what that CO2 increase results in is a steadily increasing temperature. So we've already increased by 2 degrees. In fact, that doesn't tell the whole story because the extremes of temperature increased by as much as 20 degrees. And that line is going to keep going for some time into the future. It's really important. It makes a difference if we accelerate the transition to sustainable transport. And beyond global warming, there's just the fact that combustion cars emit toxic gases. And according to an MIT study, there are 53,000 deaths per year in the US alone from auto emissions. So it stands to reason that if a vehicle is spewing toxic gas, that's obviously bad for your health. And so to address this, what we came up with at Tesla was what we called the secret master plan. Yeah. So this is the first blog that I ever wrote for the company. And it was originally a 3-step. It was originally a trilogy. Now it's a 4-part trilogy, as it turns out. But we needed to figure out how could we, as a tiny company with very few resources, actually make a difference. And the only way to do this was to start small, to start with a low-volume car, which is why we started with the Tesla Roadster. So with any new technology, it takes multiple iterations and it takes economies of scale before you can make it great and affordable. So step 1 was the Roadster. The Roadster was high price and low volume, but where it really made a difference was that it showed people that it showed the world that you could make a compelling electric car. You could make a great electric car. What was unique about the Roadster was it was the first really great electric car. And before the Roadster, people thought an electric car would be slow and ugly and low range and have bad performance. And we had to break that mold. It was incredibly important to show that that wasn't true. And so we made the Roadster, which is fast, it's beautiful, it's great performance. For those of you who bought the Roadster, thank you. And we only made 500 units a year, because that's all we really could make for the Roadster. But it had a very leveraged effect. In fact, Bob Lutz, the former vice chairman of GM, actually credits the Roadster with the Chevy Volt program, which then led to the Nissan Leaf program. And really, even though we were making very few cars, it actually had quite a huge leveraged effect on the auto industry. But there was still a lot more to do. And a lot of people said, well, the Roadster is nice, but it's sort of a toy and it's very expensive, and you couldn't really make a car that people would use every day, or a car that could really compete against the great combustion sedans of the world. So we thought, okay, we're going to make the Model S. So, so the Model S, any of you drive a Model S? Oh, yeah. Thank you. Then you know it's a great sedan. It can seat up to 7 people, 5 adults and 2 kids. It's tested by Road and Track and Motor Trend and others as the fastest 4-door car in history ever. It's got great handling. It's got great technology. It's got things like autopilot, and it was rated by almost every group as the best car in its year, and by Consumer Reports as the best car ever. Yeah. And again, it was super. The reason for that is not just to achieve some superlative in cars, but to show what an electric car can do. Because nobody believed that an electric car could do this. So what was really important was to show, the reason it was important was not to achieve awards or anything like that. It was to just show the car industry, show the world that an electric car really can be the best car. That's what really mattered. And now for cars, about half the market wants a sedan and about half the market wants an SUV. So we thought, well, we'll extend the Model S platform into the Model X. Now, both of these are very important because the revenue from the Model S and the X is what's needed to develop the Model 3. So the Model 3, with very high volume and all the engineering needed to achieve the cost reductions and the capabilities, it costs billions of dollars. So the S and the X are what pay for that Model 3 development. So I just want to say, for all of you who bought an S or an X, thank you for helping pay for the Model 3. So the Model 3 is happening because of you. And so we actually have an S and an X on the side there, and has, of course, the Falcon Wing doors, which did cause us some challenges, but now they're working. So now, then going from the S and the X, we finally come to step 3, or the final step in the master plan, which is a mass market, affordable car. It was only possible to do that after going through the prior steps. But we're here, and we're here to show that to you tonight. So when are deliveries? Well, they're next year. So I do feel fairly confident that it will be next year. Yeah. And then in terms of price, well, of course, it'll be $35,000. And I want to emphasize that even if you buy no options at all, this will still be an amazing car. You will not be able to buy a better car for $35,000 or even close, even if you get no options. So it's a really good car even with no options.
This has been the goal for Tesla from the very beginning, to get a mass market, high production electric vehicle that doesn't look ugly. Albeit this has been a little bit of a labor of love in terms of the timeline of this $35,000 Model 3. It is finally here, though, and that is the most important thing. Before we dive into some of the specs though, I want to talk a little bit about what Tesla had to do in order to get there, and we don't have to look any further than a blog post that they published today regarding some changes, some important changes. Let's dive in. Tesla shares that to achieve these prices while remaining financially sustainable, Tesla is shifting sales worldwide to online only. You can now buy a Tesla in North America via your phone in about 1 minute, and that capability will soon be extended worldwide. We are also making it much easier to try out and return a Tesla so that a test drive prior to purchase isn't needed. You can now return a car within 7 days or 1,000 miles for a full refund. Quite literally, you could buy a Tesla, drive several hundred miles for a weekend road trip with friends, and then return it for free. With the highest consumer satisfaction score of any car on the road, we are confident you will want to keep your Model 3. Shifting all sales online combined with other ongoing cost efficiencies will enable us to lower all vehicle prices by about 6% on average, allowing us to achieve the $35,000 Model 3 price point earlier than we expected. Over the next several months, we will be winding down many of our stores, with a small number of stores in high traffic locations remaining as galleries, showcases, and Tesla information centers. The important thing for customers in the United States to understand is that with online sales, anyone in any state can quickly and easily buy a Tesla. At the same time, we will be increasing our investment in the Tesla service system, with the goal of same-day, if not same-hour service, and with most service done by us coming to you rather than you coming to us. Moreover, we guarantee service availability anywhere in any countries in which we operate. This is why I said in the beginning of the video that it's a little bittersweet. It's really exciting that Tesla is now selling a $35,000 Model 3 like they promised, but it's inevitable that in order to get to this price point, they're having to continue to lay employees off, which means that many people who work in stores will likely either be let go or transition to other parts of the company. Hopefully, many of these people can transition to the service side where Tesla continues to put an emphasis on. Now that I set the framework for how Tesla got to the $35,000 Model 3, let's dive into some of the specs because they're quite interesting. They now offer 6 variations of the Model 3: standard range rear-wheel drive, standard range plus rear-wheel drive, mid-range rear-wheel drive, long-range rear-wheel drive, long-range all-wheel drive, and performance long-range all-wheel drive. For the standard range rear-wheel drive, it will start off at $35,000. You'll get a 220-mile range, 130 mile per hour top speed, 5.6 seconds 0 to 60, and a 2 to 4 week delivery, which is super crazy. That means that people will be getting a $35,000 Model 3 by mid-March 2019. Here are the features that come with the standard range car: manual seat and steering adjustment, cloth seat and base trim, basic audio, standard maps and navigation, tinted glass roof with ultraviolet and infrared protection, which is crazy because a lot of people were saying that the all-glass roof would not come with that standard range, so it's great to see that they are doing that. Auto dimming, power folding, heated side mirrors, music and media over Bluetooth, custom driver profile, center console with storage, and 4 USB ports. Standard range plus rear-wheel drive will come in at $37,000, 240 miles of range, 140 mile per hour top speed, 5.30 to 60 second acceleration, and delivery within 2 weeks. What features come with the standard range plus? 12-way power adjustable heated front seats, premium seat material and trim, upgraded audio, immersive sound, standard maps and navigation, LED fog lamps, tinted glass roof, ultraviolet and infrared protection, auto-dimming, power-folding, heated side mirrors, music and media over Bluetooth, custom driver profile, center console with storage, 4 USB ports, and docking for 2 smartphones. Mid-range rear-wheel drive comes in at $40,000 with 264 miles of range, 140 mile/hour top speed, 5.2 seconds 0 to 60, delivery within 2 weeks. Features for the mid-range rear-wheel drive: 12-way power adjustable front and rear heated seats, premium audio, 14-speaker, 1 subwoofer, 2 amps, and immersive sound, satellite view maps with live traffic visualization and navigation, in-car internet streaming music and media, internet browser, location-aware automatic garage door opener, LED fog lamps, tinted glass roof with ultraviolet and infrared protection, auto-dimming, power-folding, heated side mirrors, music and media over Bluetooth, custom driver profile, center console with storage, 4 USB ports, and docking for 2 smartphones. Long-range rear-wheel drive comes in at $43,000, 325 miles of range. This is super huge. This is the longest range Model 3 on the market to date, which is interesting and fantastic. This means actually that any of those that bought their Model 3 about a year ago, or the early adopters, this is that same car. And it does sound like Tesla will be pushing out a firmware update to get you from 310 miles of range to that new 325 mile standard. It'll be 140 mile/hour top speed, 5 seconds 0 to 60, delivery within 2 weeks. Features for the long-range rear-wheel drive Model 3 look to be identical to the mid-range version. Coming up next, we got long-range all-wheel drive at $47,000, 310 miles of range, 145 mile/hour top speed, 4.50 to 60, and delivery within 2 weeks. Feature set is identical to the 2 previous versions I've mentioned. And performance long-range all-wheel drive comes in at a starting price of $58,000, 310 mile range, 162 mile/hour top speed, which is an increase from what it was before, which I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, someone in the comments, was 155 mile/hour top speed. So that's a bump up of 7 mile/hour top speed. 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds, and delivery within 2 weeks. Feature set is identical to the 3 previous versions of the Model 3 that I've mentioned. Autopilot features have changed as well. The pricing has gone down to $3,000, and if I remember correctly, that was a $5,000 price point. And they say that it enables your car to steer, accelerate, and brake automatically for other vehicles and pedestrians within its lane. Full self-driving is back on the list officially, and that comes in at $5,000. And they say that this includes navigate on autopilot, automatic driving from highway on-ramp to off-ramp, including interchanges and overtaking slower cars. It also includes auto park, both parallel and perpendicular spaces. Summon, your parked car will come find you anywhere in a parking lot. And they say, really? Coming later this year, it will recognize and respond to traffic lights and stop signs, as well as automatic driving on city streets. There is so much going on here and so much information to digest. You may want to watch this video several times over just to take in all of the new features that Tesla's introduced with the Model 3. There are, however, some things that are unanswered. For example, how large is the battery pack in this standard range? Tesla has not said, and I could not find anything as of the recording of this video. To me, it's really interesting that they've decided to offer 2 versions of the standard range rear wheel drive. This almost makes me think that perhaps they found a way to software downgrade an existing battery pack. I'm not quite sure. To me, it's really interesting that they haven't indicated exactly how large that battery pack is. I realize that Tesla is sort of doing away with talking about battery size, but to me, it makes a lot of sense to understand really how Tesla got to this $35K price point faster than what they indicated previously on the earnings call that they had in January. The other thought that I have about these new updates is on the autopilot side. Tesla really seems to be pushing for more people to buy into not only autopilot, but now full self-driving. And this probably is the introduction of this autopilot version 3 and its new processing power, its faster processing power that Elon has talked about on several occasions. Now that Tesla offers a Model 3 sub $40,000, it's going to be extremely challenging for other car makers to compete with Tesla's design and styling cues, their software suite that they offer in their car, as well as autopilot and supercharging features. To me, this is a true checkmate move on Tesla's part, and I look forward to how other automakers respond to this monumental moment. I want to give a special shout out to evtees.com for sending me the shirt that you see me wearing right now, as well as this one. I'll put their link in the description so you can go check them out and what they have to offer. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, and if you're a regular, hit the like button, and I will see everyone on the next video.